Live, Matthew.
The Lowrance Lowdown.
Growing up on the water with fishing in their blood, Arey and Bryan Thrift have spent the last 10 years competing against the biggest names in professional bass fishing. Their success has landed them ranked among the top anglers in the world. If you're looking to become a better angler, then this show has all the answers. Join us and follow along to get actionable tips, tactics, and tried and true techniques directly from the pros. Welcome to Let's Talk Fish.
Drum roll. Oh, we live? All right, we're back, guys, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. We got 120 viewers. We have. I told y'all I'd have a show without Smoke. Just because Smoke's not here doesn't mean the show doesn't go on. But I've got me a special guest, and when the cat's away, the mice will. No, when the mice away. How you say it?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, yeah. I've got Mike Corbishley, Mr. Mike Corbishley in the house tonight, and Mike is works for Lowrance. He is the volume boat builder, key account manager. Correct? Yes, I got that right. For Lowrance, and very, very knowledgeable and well versed in the electronics game. Mike can tell you. Of course, Cheryl and some of the crew that supports us on the road are great. But if for some reason I'm somewhere and I can't get in touch with them, I can pick up the phone and holler at Mike, and no, we're not going to give his cell number out tonight. But he is here to drop knowledge bombs on Lowrance products. So tonight, all you guys and gals out there that run Lowrance, if you have a question, we've got the man in the studio that can answer it. We've even got his demo, HDS Live 12, that Mike was nice enough to bring. And before the show started tonight, we were in here shooting content for the LTF Academy launch that is really some stuff you're going to want to be a part of because, we shot, for 30 or 40 minutes just on initial setups, waypoint management, all kinds of goodies. And
One question.
Yo.
You sat here and watched the video.
You don't have a mic, man. Why don't you pull that mic over to you?
But did you learn anything?
I learned. I've run Lowrance for over 15 years now, roughly. And I learned a lot, and I told Jeff what I tell you when the video was over. Jeff and I looked at each other, and we said the same thing. Said, we're both going to have to go back and watch that video again because there's some things that I heard him say that hit me. I was over there playing on my phone, and it kind of threw a light bulb, and I'm like, man, I gotta make sure I listen to what he was saying and pay attention. So I'll be watching that video over and over and over again, probably 20-something minutes of that, just the initial setup video. And I always thought that it was more of a myth that guys say there's a lot of things you can do when you first buy a Lowrance unit and you put it on your boat because a lot of the automatic settings are great. But Mike went through a lot of stuff, and we obviously don't have time in the show to talk about all of it, but that is a myth. There was a lot of things that you can tinker with to make your unit really maximize its efficiency.
Yeah, the auto settings are definitely hands down across the country, depending on where you're at. But the automatic settings out of the box are built for 95% of the lakes in the country, and it's a really good all around. But for like tournament bass fishermen, right? Like yourself, like me, I'm nowhere near the same level, but the more I play with electronics, going to certain lakes, you can tinker it and dial it in more and more and more and more. But again, 95% of the lakes and 95% of people will be good on auto settings. But
yeah,
you can really dial those things in.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of little things that you did, like on your downscan unit and your contrast and things like that I actually need to go play with my units a little bit more and just enhance some of the features on there. They're great and they do the job, but there's just little tiny things you can do to really make everything pop more, more or less. So
that's right.
All right. Let's we're going to take any questions pertaining to Lowrance products tonight, guys. Start rolling those through, and if I see one, I'll jump on it. We have a giveaway, as always, at the end of the show tonight that is sponsored by Lowrance. Mike was kind enough, and they have a big swag package valued at over $100, shirts, hats, cool things like that, that we're going to give away at the end of the show for our question. Our trivia question tonight, and we've got a good question tonight that does. I'll just give them a little hint. I'm not going to give it away, Jeff. That does pertain to Lowrance. So what? You're over there laughing like I was going to give. So I've done this before.
That was
Mike.
a good question.
I've given the answer away before by accident. And
Ryan Sauer says this is a lot different show with no improper English.
yeah, Mike is not only well versed in electronics game, but very educated. Brian's educated too. I didn't mean it like that.
He can catch a lot more bass than
Yeah, well, he just sounds a little different.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but also, so everybody that's on now, we're gonna give Thrift a call at 7:30 on the show live. We're going to get him on, and we're going to get an update on how day one at Chick went. We know what his weight was. I just looked at it a little while before I got here. I watched a little bit of the weigh-in. He's sitting in 98th place with 12.7 pounds, but they are paying $10,000 through 100th place, 102nd place, something like that. There's 208 boats, 204 boats in this event. So he is inside a $10,000 check, and I know if Brian was here, what's your goal, Brian? And to make money doing what I love, and right now he's sitting pretty to get a $10,000 check. I know he wants to be higher, but we'll get the lowdown on how it went down today on Chickamauga. We'll call him at 7:30 and get him on the line and talk to him about it. But I'm already seeing a bunch of questions come in. And you're open to Lowrance trolling motor questions too,
Sure,
correct?
yeah,
on the Ghost, we can talk about the Ghost too.
Yeah.
So any of you guys out there and gals that are running the new Ghost, let us know. That yes, we're blocking Jeff with the Lowrance demo. We did that kind of purposely, but not really purposely. But so the reason we have the demo still hooked up, we did some videos earlier, like we said, but we've got the demo hooked up, so Mike can actually jump over there. We've got a separate camera set up on the screen that if you have some questions that pertain to your Lowrance units, he can jump over there and actually manually show you. And we're going to start answering some questions right off the bat. So let's start with Joe right here. Joe said, he said, what's the best trolling motor transducer to run for the Gen 3s? So that's a good question.
It is a good question. So best trolling motor transducer, I think I would say for sure for the Gen 3s would be a HDI. You could also run a total scan, but I would run a HDI transducer, and I would run it, and you can even link your side scan from the back of the boat. But that would give you your down scan and your traditional sonar off of that. So I would run HDI for sure.
Perfect. You got something to drink over there because you're getting ready to get pounded with questions. I've got them already lining up, stacking up here. But
there's a lot. I can't keep up with this.
Guys, we're gonna get to as many Lowrance questions because it's a pleasure to have Mike in the studio and somebody who's extremely knowledgeable on the subject. I can't answer not even half of what Mike could answer. So I've used them for years and years and years. But I'm telling you, this man is a book of knowledge. But Dalton Pratt, good question. Or excuse me, who said the Hook 2 unit? Okay, David Neal. Sorry, David Neal said the Hook 2 unit. I followed Fish the Moment's recommended settings, but I'd like a bit sharper clarity. How can I get it?
Okay, so
this is on a Hook 2 unit.
Sharper clarity. So again, the biggest thing that you can do with your unit to get the best picture out of it is hands down, no questions asked, transducer placement. If you don't have your transducer in a good spot, you're not going to get a good read. You could put the transducer out of the water and you could put it an inch down, you can put an inch down, an inch down, an inch down, and the transducer picture will change dramatically as you move it across the boat. So
angle also,
and angle.
Don't forget that.
Angle, and I mean the notches in the transducer, like if you put it up or down, like a centimeter or millimeter, it changes that picture. So it's really all about transducer placement.
Yeah, so that transducer is extremely sensitive to movement as far as the clarity of your picture. So, but that's a good question because I do see a lot of guys wondering about their picture sometimes, and it's a simple fix because a lot of times it is just simple adjustment on your transducer location or angle. So Jack Howell, I'll answer that question. I'll jump out there and answer that. I don't know Brian's plans as of now. My boat actually left Angler's Choice in Martinsville, Virginia, yesterday with a new Mercury 254 stroke on it. Mike and I are actually going to go out to the lake in the morning and start breaking it in a little bit and I'm gonna take advantage of Mike tomorrow morning and while he's out there with my Lowrance units, because I'll make sure mine's finally tuned like I know he knows how to do. So he doesn't know that yet, but he does now. But yeah, so I'll be out there. You know, the biggest thing, and I've had a bunch of messages about that G2, guys. It's already sold. I was on Bass Talk. It was funny because I was on Bass Talk Live last week. Did an interview with those guys. Great guys, great show. I know a lot of you cross over and listen to some of the Bass Talk Live stuff, but if you don't, you need to check them out, guys. It's really, they are kind of like the OG of the fishing podcast industry, and they're really, really good at what they do. And they drop a lot of shows. They do it probably more than anybody else out there, but great guys. And it was a good show, and I just dropped a little hint on the show that, you know, because Evinrude's subject came up, of course. We talked about the Evinrude, you know, kind of the discontinuation of the brand, why it happened, or at least the little that I knew about it. And I said, yeah, I'll be getting my engine switched out, blah, blah, blah. I'll have a good deal on G2 if anybody's looking for one. And before Angler's Choice could even get it listed on their used engine boat site, I had a bunch of messages on Facebook and already got it sold. So if anybody is still wondering or still shooting me messages, that engine is sold. But we'll be running a Mercury. And nothing wrong with the Evinrudes. The G2s, they're still going to honor the warranty. They're still going to service them. They're still going to manufacture parts. The biggest thing is, and we talked about this on the last show, is I just can't afford to continue to do that without tech support. In case something happens, you know, having that support crew there. Mercury and Yamaha attend all the BASS events, so having that support crew there is really priceless when it comes right down to it. All right, so I know. Have you seen some more Lowrance questions? I'm seeing quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch, right?
Anything? I haven't asked you this, and you may not be at liberty to say, but anything coming new for Lowrance that's supposed to launch around what was going to be the ICAST date for 2020 that you can talk about or not talk about?
Well, it's digital. ICAST is still happening, to my knowledge. Last I heard,
that's right. But it's all going to be online.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different this year. We're not going to be in a convention center in Florida this time, but it is digital. Let's Talk Fish Live will not be the location where we're going to disclose new products, but
hey, I like that.
But you know, thanks for tuning in, anyways. but no, I can't talk about that
like
just
that.
yet.
Well, I had to ask. I mean,
I got to be careful sometimes too, because I know what's coming. So, but no.
I know you know what's coming.
I can't say anything.
If I can't get it out of him, I doubt y'all are going to get it out of him.
He was trying earlier too.
All right, let's see. How do you get your HDS 12 Gen 3 to stop asking if you want to change map cards? Jesse Hall wants to know. So he's getting a little pop-up, I guess.
HDS 12, stop asking. So that depends, right? So sometimes if you have an Ethernet issue, like if you have your front graph and your back graph connected through Ethernet and you have an Ethernet cable going out, sometimes it's losing connection and regaining connection, so that unit at the bow is randomly... You know, it'll lose your map, and then all of a sudden it'll pick back up again. So your graph's asking you if you want to, you know, select it again. So that's probably what it is. I would probably check your Ethernet cord.
All right, Jeff, I'm gonna bank on you to keep up with the time, because we're supposed to give Thrift a ring at 7:30 roughly.
Got it.
Okay, and we'll have to reverse. We'll have to turn that mic around so we can. Okay, Jeff's on it. I know, like Bryant Clary said just a second ago. He said Jeff's awesome. We know Jeff's awesome. Jeff is the whole reason this show. Yeah. Jeff is like our offensive lineman, like the VIP offensive lineman, player of the game. He's the one that doesn't get enough credit that makes this show happen. I give you credit all the time.
The studio is pretty incredible. I just got done telling him that while you were in the other room. The studio is incredible.
Yeah, see?
Awesome.
There you go. You sure you don't want to turn your mic around? People might want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
There's
all
nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't even know if we'll use that. But
Ryan Sowers, the demo is not the trivia prize. That's Mike's computer. That's his work. That's his desk. That's his workshop. He has to use that. But maybe one day, who knows? We might give away a Lowrance unit on the show. Mike. Oh, Tim Denmark said he's on the Lowrance team. Said if you need help, he's here.
Thank you, Tim.
Do you know Tim?
Not personally, but I'm pretty excited that he's here. Thanks, Tim.
What's the chances of getting Thrift to run a Ghost trolling motor? Well, since Thrift still hasn't left the Fortrex for the Ultrex, I don't think there's any chance of him jumping from a Fortrex to a Ghost.
I don't know.
Well, he's a Humminbird guy anyway.
I know.
He'll probably continue to run a Minn Kota, and honestly, it probably will still be a Fortrex. What's going to the only thing that's going to force Thrift's hand is when they discontinue whatever he's running and they quit making it. Same with the Evinrude deal. So if they quit making it, he's going to have to use something else.
We might need to come out with a cable steer if that's the case.
Yeah, well, he would probably be interested in that. Whatever works for him. Hey, it's worked for him for years, and I don't really blame him for hating change. If I caught him like he did, I wouldn't want to change anything. Let's see. What is the best transducer to use for your side imaging from Clyde Baldwin? He has a 3-in-1 now with a carbon.
3-in-1. The 3-in-1 for sure. I would definitely stick with that. That's the highest resolution side scan you'll get, and down scan's phenomenal also. So, and then it comes with the 2D sonar built in, but 3-in-1.
Oh, okay. Here's a question that definitely needs to be addressed. Wesley Philly wants to know. He just bought an Elite TI2. Can I put the 3-in-1 underneath and in the middle of the jack plate?
You can.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh, glad Mike was here. I said no.
No, not in the middle of the jack plate.
Yeah, well, that's what when he said that, I'm like,
let me rephrase that, right?
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Your
Be
jack
careful
plate,
how you answer that.
You've obviously got two aluminum walls on each side of your transducer, right? So if you put it in the dead center of the jack plate, you're going to be bouncing off of those. But below your jack plate in the center, yes, that's actually a great spot. So you don't have any kind of feedback. You're not interfering with anything there.
Interesting request from Kenneth Chu. He says, can you please develop an auto zoom on GPS chart while navigating? Zooms in automatically as you get closer to your destination. I could see that being beneficial, but I don't think I would like that quite as much sometimes. I mean, I'll zoom in when I land on my destination point, but I'm always in and out so much that I don't necessarily want it to gradually just zoom in as I'm navigating, especially for multiple reasons, because I'm always looking for other stuff too. But what do you think about that? So my comment to that is you can actually set up two different chart screens, right? And maybe this is the time to use the demo. I don't know, but if you can actually drag in a custom screen. Hold on, let's take advantage of that demo while we got it here.
All
so
right.
let's let Mike jump over there on the demo and actually talk about this zoom question that Kenneth asked. What's that?
Where's the camera? Right there.
Oh, don't you? We got the graph. We got the graph in your hand. That's all they need. But just make sure you kind of talk into that mic. Do we need to move that mic closer to him, Jeff? You think? Okay.
So you can see this all right where you're at?
Yeah, we can see that good. So we can just speak up so they can hear you in the mic.
So what I just did was I made a custom screen and I drug in two different charts, right? So you can actually edit your screen even past this. So if I hit my power button and I hit adjust splits, I can make this one bigger, this one smaller, etc. Hit save, and you can slide that over, right? So while I'm on plane, I'm going to keep this one zoomed out a little bit more, and I can have this one zoomed in. We're in the middle of nowhere, so I'm going to zoom in here to like Tennessee. But you can actually zoom in a little bit tighter, right? So zoom this one in a little bit tighter, this one out a little bit further, or vice versa. That way you can have both screens going on.
Very good. Yeah, I'd say that was a big help. Okay, so we talked about transducer placement, and that obviously one of the most important factors when installing a new unit is transducer placement. What would you consider, and I know it depends on the boat, but Ronnie Thompson, let us know what kind of boat you got too. He said, explain what you're looking for in proper transducer placement.
Mm-hmm. So the most important factor there is clean water flow, right? So on an aluminum boat, for example, and on all kinds of boats, you've got different chines and different strakes within the boat that are going to put off air, right, behind the boat. So there's places wherever you have the cleanest water flow, wherever you have the flattest part of your boat, that's going to be where you have the cleanest water flow. So, like a side scan transducer, like an active imaging 3-in-1 or active imaging 2-in-1 or a structure scan 3D, you could actually mount those a little bit higher up than you can like a skimmer. But you can mount them a little bit higher up, but the biggest thing is having clean water flow. And again,
he has a Z520, just so you know.
Z520?
He's a Z520 Ranger.
So Ranger, we actually mount those. We mount those right below the step, right in front of the motor, right below the step.
The pad,
right below the pad. The pad, that's right.
The step can be confusing sometimes.
Yeah, the pad. There's no step on the hole, but yeah, right below the pad right there, and that's probably the best spot for it, or just below the jack plate again, right there. And again, you can't expect to have an extremely clear picture unless you're going slow. Like 2 to 5 is really that sweet spot for side scan, down scan.
All right, so I hope everybody picked up on what Mike just said. Not just about the transducer placement, but on the fact that you get the most out of your side scan, down scan at 2 to 5 miles an hour. Is that what you said?
Yeah, absolutely.
2 to 5 miles per hour. So to watch your speed and make sure you're getting the most out of your units. You definitely don't want to miss something. Let's see.
Bryson said he wants to see us 1v1 on Falls Lake.
1v1 on Falls. I would. Hey, dude, I'd never turn a challenge down. And I'll be honest with you, I have not fished Falls since I was at NC State University, and that is and I met my wife Emily. She lived right off of Highway 50, going north of Raleigh, right up Creedmoor Road there, going to Falls Lake,
right,
and she lived between like Crabtree Valley and Falls Lake. So
yep.
Of the 3 lakes in that area, which all are phenomenal lakes, that is the lake that I spent a little bit more time on when I was in college, which was a long time ago. But I would love to get back out there. And Mike and I actually been talking about going fishing out there for, I don't know, a year or two. We still haven't gone. And I got a couple friends in that area. Good friend of mine, Bo Adams, who's also a good friend of Mike's. He lives up there in that area. They all fish that lake a lot. And a phenomenal lake, and I'd love to get back out there, Bryson. I see Mike's pictures all the time of his 25 and 26 and 27 pounds. What was it? Y'all finished second in Fishers of Men this past Saturday. Had what?
23:36.
23:36, but wasn't it a week ago that you finished? Where was that, Jordan?
That was Jordan. So 2 weeks ago on Jordan, it was like 8th place with 25 something. 25:42.
8th place with 25 pounds. That's catching them.
And we didn't get a check. We get paid.
And didn't get a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty stout there. All right, so this is great, guys. We got a lot of great questions about Lowrance, and Wes Johnson, if you haven't, when's the last time he said, sorry, but I like using my Garmin's better than Lowrance. The mapping sonar, all of it's better, it seems. Maybe the new Lowrances are better, I don't know. I don't know when the last year you ran Lowrance was, but one thing about Lowrance, and I'll put them up against anybody in the industry for this, is their target separation, their clarity. How clear you can see fish, whether it's on even your 2D, from your down scan to your side image, and that goes back to them being kind of the first company to launch you can talk about that, the whole LCD crystal blah 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 blah. I don't want to get too technical because I'll get lost. It'll get lost.
It's a long company history, so
but it's as far as the mapping, I'm gonna tell you right now, Wes, if you haven't experienced the new CMAP stuff, you are missing out, and I will put that up against anybody too. And I was actually using both Navionics maps and Lake Master maps on my phone. I'm not going to hide that from anybody. I use every resource I can use when I go to any new body of water. And I'm not going to sit here and say I still don't do that, but and I'm going to do a video about the color shading feature too. Something that the CMAP chip allowed me to do at Lowrance, at Eufaula, was the color shading feature and just the overall detail of the lake and how accurate it was.
Right.
But I got kind of dialed into a certain depth zone that I wanted to look for brush in. And when I used that color shading feature, not only did it make me more efficient in practice, but it allowed me just to run around the lake a lot quicker and break down the lake a lot quicker and looking for those key depth zones that I wanted to look for. But overall, I was actually running the Lake Master chip on my phone, and I was running my CMAP on my units on the dash. And overall, the CMAP, now, when I ran some of the older, which I was bad about not updating my chips, which is that's a no-no.
Yeah, well, they graph nonstop, right?
Yeah,
they're always updating.
That's right. But I would go like 3 years without updating one.
Yeah.
So Mike's like, that's
old data.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's old.
But if, regardless of what you run, make sure you do your updates and things like that, guys, to stay up to date with the latest and greatest information. All right. Let's see. I know we're seeing I got a lot of questions. If you see one, Mike Harris, there is absolutely no such thing. He said the CMAP almost has too much detail.
Yes.
So too much detail, it goes back to the color shading option. If it's got too much detail and you want to break it down into bigger sections, smaller sections, whatever it is, take advantage of that option. But yeah, not sure what Mike meant by that. Too much detail.
No, you can't have too much.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
You
Even
really
Thrift
can't.
would agree with that.
You really can't.
All right, so not the correct answer to the trivia question, Ryan, but good try.
Should be answer Lowrance Foundation. Sorry.
Let's see, Mike. So Mike comes from an area of North Carolina that has some absolute giant bass, the biggest in the state. Falls, Sharon Harris, and Jordan. He has the benefit of being able to fish those lakes on a fairly regular basis. I'd say.
Yeah. When I'm around.
Yeah, when you're around. But they want to know. Let's see. The question came in from Tyler Sandlin. What your biggest fish is, and I know you've caught some double digits because you fished the best lakes in the state.
I've caught 2 double digits. Tyler, I know Tyler. He's probably just trying to get me to talk. But 10,
so Tyler's a buddy.
He is, but 10-6 and a 10-3, and we can't talk about falls anymore because it needs to stay a secret. but no, a 10-6 and a 10-3 is what I've caught, both out of falls.
Well, MLF kind of let the cat out of the bag last year, but it wasn't fishing that great when they were there.
I mean, Jordan, that's debatable. Jordan was on fire.
Yeah, Jordan was good. Jordan was good, and Harris was fishing pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Well, Jacob Balcom, I hope you said your last name correctly, Jacob. He said petition to make falls like the 6th Great Lake. Don't know if he means that from size, because obviously Falls is a fairly small lake. How big is Falls? Do you know?
It's like 20,000 acres.
Okay, so it's like Wiley, like Lake Wiley.
Yeah, it's
roughly.
not that big. I mean,
Bo Adams is on here. We got to answer Bo's question. He's a good friend of both of ours, and Bo rarely asks questions, but now he's on and he's got a question. So let's address Bo's question. He wants to know, if you run 3 or more units, would you upgrade the wiring to get the proper voltage? If so, what would you use?
3 more units. So, okay, so I would. It just depends, right? Like, so throughout the years, like past several years, and I work with every boat manufacturer, and everybody is constantly improving their wiring harnesses every single year,
right? Like,
hands down. I'll tell you what, though, like throughout the past couple of years, the further and further along we get with technology, these units are just drawing more and more power. And don't get me wrong, like the Lowrance units, like the Lives, for example, they do not draw as much as competitors, as much power. So, but at the end of the day, it's a lot. I mean, they have quad-core processors in them. So when these guys are putting 4 units, 3, 4, if you look at like Jacob Wheeler's setup, he's got 5 units on his boat, right? Yeah. I mean, you put 5 units on a boat, at the end of the day, you got to have an upgraded wiring harness. So my opinion, there's a couple different guys out there. Trent Palmer with, is that me? Time to feed my dog. Oh. Trent Palmer, he runs a company called Sonar Pros, and he's got a good upgraded wiring harness, and same with, Nathan Martin, he's got one. At the end of the day, like, you can always do your own wiring. The harnesses are built pretty well from the factory, but yeah, I would upgrade for when you get to 4 or 5 different graphs. So,
all right, Mike, I'm gonna let you. I'm texting Thrift because Jeff just called him. Oh, okay, never mind. I was texting him. All right, guys, we got Thrift on the other line. So we have called to get. What now? We've called to get an update from Smoke himself about his day one on the chick, and
we're on the show, and everybody's asking for an update from Smoke. That's you.
We got Jeff's got him on the line, and
well, you have something.
I'll direct him some questions if y'all got any questions about what went down on chick today.
I'll tell you when you're live.
And so y'all start shooting those in. But Thrift, we got him. You can put him on speaker?
He's on.
Thrift, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, buddy. We got a little nervous because Jeff said he called and it went to voicemail. I said, well, he's either talking to Allison or he doesn't want to talk to us. So we didn't know which one it was.
It must be the world staying here.
I got it. Well, I can hear you pretty good. But
I can't outside.
Do what?
I said I had to come outside.
Okay.
Like I tried to answer and it was,
Yeah, it's kind of spotty there.
Yeah, it's a little bit spotty, but we'll do the best we can. So basically, I know you had 12.7. I know you're sitting in 98th. Some of the guys and gals on here were asking, but overall, I know you caught a lot of fish today. Did you fish deep all day, or did you fish shallow? Did you bounce back and forth? And the good thing is they're paying $10,000 through 100th place, and I know Bryan Thrift's goal is to get a check, and you're still in good shape to get a $10,000 check. But what'd you do today to catch them? I mean, as far as deep and shallow,
I didn't catch them.
You're inside a $10,000 check, so don't give us you didn't catch them. You didn't catch them as good as you wanted to catch them, but you still caught. Well, yeah, but you still caught 12.7 pounds, so you're not out of it. The weights are super, super, super tight, and let's see. I was looking at like they cut to 50 in this one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so the 50 cut's like 14 something. So you're 2 pounds out of that, which is nothing, especially for you. So I got faith in you. You're gonna catch them tomorrow. But what?
I don't catch them on fishing this summer. I don't know what I do wrong here. I can't sit on one hole for 12 hours and hope they bite for 20 minutes. It just ain't in me to do it.
Yeah, well, it looked like Chick was not fishing to its full potential either. I mean, yeah, there were a couple big bags, but overall, it's not normal Chick weights. What do you think about as far as the conditions and how it's fishing? Now, obviously, it's probably crowded, and I assume.
Yeah, the boat every 30 feet from one end of the lake to the other.
Oh, it looked crowded online today. I tried to follow some of the live coverage, but did you catch?
It was awful. I mean, it really is. But I mean, that's no excuse. I mean, those guys catch them. I mean, they get on a hole, I guess, and sit there all day. I don't know what they do. I can't do that. So I weighed in 5 fish on 5 different peaks, 5 places.
Okay.
And that's about what I got going on.
Well, if you look at it from this angle, you know, if you'd have caught one big fish, I mean a 5 or 6 pounder, you know, you'd have been right there where you needed to be.
Yeah.
So that's the difference maker.
And I hadn't had a big bite since I've been here. Like, I hadn't caught a fish over 3.5 pounds since I've been here.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard reports that it was fishing a little tougher than it normally does. But how about the water level and the current situation? From what I could tell, they started running some current this afternoon, and maybe some of the later flights caught them a little better. Was that the case, or not so much?
I have no idea. I do not know. I really don't. I mean, only thing I can tell you is what I did. I caught 5 bass. I caught 1 on a swim jig out of gray. I caught 1 off a dock on a jig. I caught 1 on a swim bait on a ledge. I caught 1 on a worm out of a brush pile. And I caught 1 on chatterbait out of grass.
Now that's versatile. Now, so did you only catch 5 keepers today?
You what?
Did you only catch 5 keepers today, or is that the 5 you weighed in?
That's the 5 I weighed in. I mean, I caught 4 or 5 more that was just, 15 and a quarter inches, just barely keepers.
Gotcha.
Not what you want on chick, but
What was your biggest fish today? Bryant Clary was asking.
Close to 3. I had
Okay.
one that was nearly 3, I think.
Got you. Well, what's the plan? Everybody wants to know what the plan is for tomorrow.
I'm going to start out with trying not to suck.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you, to answer that question just like you did.
I really don't know. I'm going to start on the little grass place I started on this morning and caught my 2 biggest ones. And hopefully I can get a couple of bites there. And hopefully they're 3-pounders. But after that, it's a crutch. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride around until I can get on a place that there's not 6 boats already occupied.
Yeah. Well, you're like me.
I like to run brush and I could get some bites out of brush. Like I ran a bunch of brush today, and I catch these little bitty guys, like 14 inchers to barely keepers. And so that's not working, so I'm probably not going to do that very much tomorrow. And I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I got to ask too, because I was scrolling through one of the photo galleries before the show tonight, and I saw Miles Berghoff, and I saw some pictures of him fishing, out in the middle, and he it looked like your boat kind of off in the background. Were y'all fishing the same deep place today, some?
Not that I know of. If we were, I wouldn't pay.
Okay, I thought it was your boat. It must not have been your boat. It was a silver-sided G2.
I probably was. I mean, I was probably around all kind of people that caught fish. I didn't catch.
Well, that's you know how that ledge game plays. It's all about timing, or like you said, patience. Just I guess sitting there waiting on them. And I'm like you, man. It's hard to do, but I think the biggest difference for me and you right now is we're used to fishing. We're getting used to fishing with 80-something boats anyway, and jumping out there with 200 on a lake like Chick that, to me, fish is pretty small when you're talking about offshore.
Yeah, but I mean, that's no excuse. I mean, it's just...
You all right?
Spotty signal.
Yeah, we're Brian's got a spotty signal where he's staying, so y'all bear with us. But all right, well, Justin Johnson said he said maybe just use the other 14 rods on your deck tomorrow, and you'll crack them. Did we lose him? I think we're losing you, Brian.
Probably.
All right, well, everybody's sending you positive thoughts, man, for a good day tomorrow. And, dude, you ain't out of it. 12.7, as tight as those weights are, you come in with a upper teens bag, and you're right back in the mix. So it looks like the cut, actually, somebody said was 14.4. So, even if you double that, you're only looking at 28, 29 pounds. And I've seen you do way beyond that before.
I mean, that is a good thing about when you can...
Yeah.
we're losing you, Brian. Hey, we'll let you go, man. I know you got a lot to do and got a lot to get ready for tomorrow. But thanks for taking the call. But good luck, dude. Everybody's wishing you luck, and we'll be watching.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you.
All right, y'all. So Smoke was doing the best he could, and Ryan Sauer said Smoke needs Verizon. It's funny he said that because I was one of the culprits that talked Thrift into switching to T-Mobile, I think, lately. So
were they one of your sponsors at the time?
What?
They had
T-Mobile?
been.
No, but God, T-Mobile would be a good
Is T-Mobile
sponsor,
good
wouldn't
here?
They would be a good sponsor.
Okay.
T-Mobile boat. I
There you
actually
go.
thought about
That's
pursuing them at one
Let's
time.
talk fish plug.
That's right. The boat would have to be pink and black, though, so that'd be an interesting transition. Kevin Short ran a pink boat for years.
did.
Remember Kevin?
He caught him out of it too.
Yeah, he called me out of it. Yeah. I had text Thrift. This is just like Thrift. I had text him and I said, pick up your dang phone. And he just responded as soon as he hung up with us, and he said, I did. So thank you. I'm going to text him back. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to say thank you.
Leave him alone. He's in rare form.
Yeah, he was. I just appreciate. I know anytime we don't have a great day on the water, that we're not in the mood to talk. But that was great for Thrift to take our call and chat about his day for a little bit. So best I could pick up on from Brian was that he, if you guys couldn't hear him well, he basically ran around, did a lot of different things today. Caught some shallow, caught some deep. Weighed the 5 fish he weighed in. We're on 5 different banks doing 5 different things, which doesn't surprise me about Smoke. Yes, that's right. Billy Wooten, Thrift's amazing comebacks. That boy it would not surprise me if he dropped 25 pounds on the scale tomorrow. I think he will catch them. He usually does. He always does. And Thrift is the most dangerous when he does have a tough day on the water, because he'll figure it out. I'll promise you. You give him enough time, and if you've watched him in MLF this year, you start off in MLF and you have to figure it out quickly, because some of the other guys will if you don't. And he is really good at breaking it down fast. I think that the hardest thing to overcome at Chick right now, and I think Brian would agree, kind of hinted at it on the phone, is that, one big bite separates you from 100th, which is about where, he's sitting in 98th. He said 100th. He always makes it sound worse than it is. But
he rounds up.
Yeah, he rounds up. If he has 12 pounds, he says he has 9 pounds, So, but he he kind of hinted at it a little bit, but one big bite, you're talking about 100th place at 12 pounds and 50th place at 14 pounds. I mean, that's 2 pounds for 50 places. So he catches, 16, 17 pounds tomorrow, and he's in. He's in the top 50 cut just like that. Catches 20 the next day, he might make a run at the top 10. So he's far from out of it. And he is the most dangerous when he has a tough first day, because I've never seen him not catch them 2 days in a row. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
How do you think he gets one? Ledge fishing? Grass fishing?
How do I think Chick gets one?
Mm-hmm. Junk fishing?
If you'd have asked me this every year for the past 10 years, this time of year, I would have said deep. I would have said ledge fishing, and I said deep. Maybe mixing a few brush piles or something like that. But John Cox has proven me wrong on multiple occasions. Granted, they've been there around the spawn several times. But even today...
It's June.
It's June, and he's catching them shallow. I mean, I watched him on live today. He was catching them out of the grass. But John struggled to get bites. I think he only caught 7 or 8 keepers. He caught 5 of the right ones. But John is the type that will go out there and fish for 5 bites every day and not have a care in the world. If he's got 2 fish at 1 o'clock, he'll still won't have a care in the world. He'll fish with an open mind, and he'll fish 100% off his gut. And he's
an animal.
He's an animal when it comes to shallow water fishing. And I don't care if it's 110 degrees outside or 40 degrees outside. That guy goes and catches 5-pounders every time we go somewhere in a foot of water. Somehow he figures it out. But that goes back to saying, he's a grinder. He's not a guy that has to go out there and catch 40 fish. I like to get my string stretched as much as I can. That's just how I like to fish. I like to play the numbers game if I have the opportunity to do that. But John will go out there and fish for those 5 bites. And sometimes this time of year, I said it, you don't have near as many fish up shallow, but you got some of the biggest fish in the lake that live there.
Right.
They're up there eating bluegill. And they stay there all summer, and they just roam the banks, and they're big, but there's just not near as many of them.
Do you think shallow fishing's kind of like the new ledge fishing then, or a little different because you're not as many numbers? But
did you and I talk about this on the phone earlier? But I talked about this with somebody, and it may not have been you. It may have been Thrift. No, I wasn't talking to Thrift earlier. But anyway, we were talking about how the ledge game electronics has seemed to change the ledge game a little bit over the past few years. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by change it, and you've seen it because you fish a lot. You fish a lot of the Toyota series, things like that. Mm-hmm. You just came off a good finish at Pickwick, as a matter of fact. And I'm assuming you were fishing off the bank there?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
so
somewhat.
But it seems to me that what electronics have done, they're so advanced and they're so good, and all these young guys like yourself know how to use them so well that it educates these fish to the point to where they're really hard to catch. And they move. They get on those little, they get on the obvious areas, but on the unobvious places. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like finding a needle in a haystack anymore.
Yep.
But we have the units to do it. And when you do find them, they seem to be a little bit harder to trigger to bite.
Right.
So to answer your question, I do think the shallow fishing could be the new ledge game, but then I think you'll see that just like a lake cycles. I think you'll see it cycle back. Yeah. I mean, if John Cox wins the next 3 tournaments that should be ledge tournaments, and he wins some shallow, then you're going to have half the field beating the bank
fishing
for the next
shallow.
2 months.
Yeah.
So
and when you were at Eufaula, there was a lot of live footage of people fishing shallow.
Right. No doubt. And there was a lot of factors that and if we hadn't had the factors like the rising water, the mayflies, the brim bedding, there's a lot of things that went into that. But to your point, it still allowed an opportunity to attempt to catch some less pressured fish,
right?
Because the Toyota series had just got done beating the brains out of those ledge schools, along with a lot of brush pile fish, which there's so many fish in that lake and it's so healthy right now. They didn't really put that bad a beating on them. That I not as bad as I thought it would have been.
Right.
So it was a very interesting tournament, and this is the same way, man. Chick is shaping up to be. I mean, I still hadn't answered your question. It definitely could be one shallow. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you throw Cox in the mix, but Wheeler, I know Wheeler. He's one of my best friends. We talk all the time. He lives at Chick. He has put more time in on that lake than any other body of water in the U.S. over the past 2 or 3 years, and he knows it like the back of his hand. Wheeler is going to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all the way through the alphabet. He has a plan. He has a fallback plan for every time something doesn't go right this event. So I talked to him leading up to this tournament, and when they announced that they were going to have these FLW Super Tournaments, and I talked to Jacob about this event, dude,
he's probably thrilled.
He was like trying to come through the phone. He was so excited. He was like drooling to get this tournament right here this week underway.
He just came off a win at Pickwick too.
Right. I mean, he's riding the momentum train. He's I don't even want to say he's at the top of his game yet, but he's close, which is scary. That's scary. I mean, he's fishing out of his mind, but he's still. I mean, I still don't think the boy's peaked. I mean, he's just, but he's coming. He's going so far so fast. Wheeler's catching him, man. And if I was a betting man, as good a shallow water angler as Cox is, I'd put all my eggs in Wheeler's basket, and that's just because I know how well he knows the lake. And Cox knows the lake really well too. But if you look at what Cox caught today, it looks good on paper, but he's still grinding for those big bites shallow.
Yeah. And
I don't know what Cox has in his back pocket. You never know what Cox has. He doesn't know what he has in his back pocket. At least that's what he says most of the time. But he's liable to go out and bust 27 shallow tomorrow, but get 6 bites. Wheeler, on the other hand, I promise you he'll be catching numbers, and he's got a lot of stuff to hit on that lake. He knows how to manage his fish. He knows how to save water. I would have to put my money on Wheeler.
I think there's a lot of tournaments that you see guys weigh in 25-pound bags, and you just assume they're crushing them all day.
Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't happen.
But it's not that many bites.
Yeah, absolutely. Matthew asked, he said, do you think that much experience could get him overthinking stuff? In a lot of cases, that is very true, Matthew, but when you're talking about an angler like Wheeler who's as accomplished and has experienced so much as he has at such a young age, he's at a point in his career, in my opinion, that he's on the upswing. He's getting close to his peak. And, I think I've said this on the show before, but I read an article in Bassmaster Magazine years ago that said a professional angler, and I think they based this off career earnings, does not peak until age 38 to 43, roughly. Wow. Now,
so you're about done.
That just got jokes. But that being said, that average, since I've read that magazine several years back, may be starting to drop because kids now are so much more advanced, so much faster, based off YouTube, based off electronics, based off
college fishing.
Yeah, just information is at the click of a button, left and right. It's all over the place. So, we don't have the same opportunities, or I didn't have the same opportunities that these guys do now with the college fishing program and all the opportunities they have to
watch shows like this and get all the secrets.
Well, yeah, to watch Let's Talk Fish. There's podcasts out there everywhere. There's you've got Bass University, you've got all kinds of educational resources now that are easily accessible to make you a better angler, and these kids know how to take advantage of them. We had Wheeler, Daniel Jones. We had Wheeler on the show very early, wasn't it, Jeff? It was one of our first 5 or 6 episodes, I think.
The old studio for sure.
Yeah, it was in the old studio when we were downtown Shelby here. It was about 2 years ago, I guess. It's right when we started the show. And our schedules, if we can get them together, Daniel, we would love to get Jacob back down here. He comes for a little visit every once in a while, but it's hard to get our schedules together now, especially with me over there on the Elites, and Wheeler and Thrift are over on MLF. So, but if we can make it happen, we would love to get him back down here. Were you about to say something?
No.
Okay.
All studs.
Let's see. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. I think we might induct Mike into the LTF Guest Hall of Fame.
I don't know if I qualify.
No, dude, you qualify. Trust me. The knowledge that Mike was dropping on some of the videos we shot before.
There's a reason that I do what I do full time, and I'm not. There's a reason you're sitting where you're at, right? Like, I would love to fish full time.
I would love to know what you
know. A little
more.
You have the knowledge in the right place.
Yeah, it's funny because the Lord leads us in mysterious ways, and sometimes we all have different gifts, and sometimes it takes us a little while to figure out what they are. You have a dog running by the window, Jeff. They can see Instagram Live. We're on Insta Live too. Are we cross posting tonight? I didn't mention that earlier, but
I think so.
I'm not sure.
I think so.
If anybody, we do have a big trivia giveaway tonight, sponsored by Lowrance. We got a bunch of Lowrance swag that Mike's going to give to the winner.
Yeah.
Be sure, if you're watching on any of the other Facebook pages that we cross post to sometimes, if you want to ask questions and you want to engage, make sure you come over to the Let's Talk Fish Facebook page. That's the only comments that we see, and that's the only way we can see your answers for the trivia question. Yeah, Bryant Wheeler's come down to fish moss a couple times with us. Mike Harris guests are still signing the wall, and Mike is no different. He'll be signing the wall before he leaves tonight.
I didn't realize how many fans I had on here.
Yeah, you got a lot, man. Mike needs to sign the wall. Ryan, he will be signing the wall. Don't worry. We're gonna. Josh Whitford wants you to know if you talked me into coming to Falls. Look, it's not that I don't want to come to Falls. It's that I just haven't had the time to get down there yet. So we are going to Falls as soon as I get the chance. I promise y'all. Because trust me, who doesn't want to go to Falls Lake? Mike wants me to stop saying that because he doesn't want everybody to know how good it is. But hey, look, man, you just got to put faith in yourself that no matter how many people come out there and fish, you can catch them better than they can.
We do need to go.
We need to go. And they're biting right now, too.
Yeah.
Supposedly. They're biting better at Jordan or Falls right now.
Sharon Harris.
No. That's a toss-up. Sharon Harris. Norman. Wiley. I did go to Wiley the other week, first time in like a year, and caught a bunch, but didn't catch any good ones, but I caught a bunch. Fishing docks, caught some deep cranking, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, sorry, Junior. And I saw somebody else ask this question earlier. Let's make sure we address this one, Mike. It says the best color palette for the Lowrance TS7 Hook 2 for side scan and down scan, brightness levels as well. So best color palette for side scan. I don't know the name of the palettes. I know what I like the best, but I don't know the name of the palette colors. So I'll let you answer that. So.
Numbers.
Yeah, I believe if it's the same.
Do they go by numbers?
Yeah, well, it's numbers and colors, right? So I believe if it's the same as the live, off the top of my head, 9 and 10 are my favorites, right? And that's the blue and the yellow one. That blue one, I think it's number 9, is my favorite, probably on the triple shot.
So blue for side or down?
For side scan and down scan. I mean, the blue is probably the most popular on Lowrance, right? And then the, for the down scan, like for my eyes, and it's really all like a preference thing, right? So for me, I really like the red, personally, and I'll run it with the contrast way up. But other than that, and that's just my preference. Everything else, I mean, just auto and the blue is probably the most popular. Everything out of the box on those units that you will find fish. At our sales conference a couple of years ago, the first time I got on a boat with one, we went by a rock pile and it was loaded with fish. And I'm talking about our entry level units, and they work out of the box for sure.
So CMAP for Texas, Garrett Thomas wants to know, when will CMAP be available for Texas? I know new states are launching as we speak, and they're working on a lot of different ones, but do you know the status of the Texas CMAP chip?
I believe Texas, I'm not 100% sure on as far as when they're going there, but Texas is huge, right? So if it'll be, I'm not even sure how long Texas will take, but I know it is on the roadmap, and it'll be within the next probably a year or two, right? But
okay.
I can't say a definite answer on that. But Texas is huge.
Yeah, so that's gonna gonna be time consuming, but
that'll be an awesome chip.
Yeah, when it launches, you're gonna want one. There's no doubt. So, Junior, thanks, man. He said he was on another Facebook page, and he came over to our page when we said make sure to log on to the LTF page if you want to ask questions, and we answered one of his questions. So that's great. Thanks, Junior. All right, let's answer a fishing question real quick, and I'm going to include. I'll give my answer. I'll include Mike in this. Matt, if you're fishing primarily a dock pattern in the fall, what do you like to throw in the stretch between the docks? In the fall, Matt, I like to pick up. I'll give 2 baits, and one's a subsurface bait, but one is a top water. I like a small profile buzz bait, or I like a small profile chatterbait. And the reason being is obviously when I'm covering water, if I'm fishing docks, and docks is my goal, and that's my main target. I want to throw a moving bait between the docks to try to pick up an oddball bonus fish here and there. If I see some cover in between those docks, I might pick up my jig or my creature bait or whatever it is that I'm actually targeting those docks with. But I like a moving bait, and typically in the fall I like a smaller profile bait. A little small square bill is a good one too. But what about you, Mike?
This only holds so much weight, but I'm big on top water. Buzzbait, whopper plopper, hands down. Depending on the lake. If it's a dock lake, probably throwing top water.
Yeah, so and the thing about top water that time of year too is it will and you get those random shallow rogues, some of the biggest fish in the lake that are just roaming randomly between docks or up on a sandy bank, or just for whatever reason they don't make sense to any of us, but they'll be giants, and you can pick up a lot of those random big fish on a topwater bait
all day.
So, yep. Aaron Curry, I must have forgot that. You'll have to remind me what that bait was. So did you ever pick up one of those baits I mentioned to you at Angler's Choice, and I apologize that I did not. So I'll have to remind me of what that was. Adam Savage is back. What's up, Adam? Glad to have you back, man. Let's see. You want to talk about, so a lot of these guys are asking about the C-MAP, and a couple of them saying, you know, what's so great about the C-MAP. So tell them the advantages of the C-MAP.
So, okay, so C-MAP is a brand, right? So just to explain this, because it can be kind of confusing, but C-MAP is the brand, and then you've got your C-MAP Precision Contour HD chips, and those are the guys that we have that full-time professional survey team out, and they're going lake to lake to lake to lake. And, I mean, this is all real data. So all the chips that are out for Precision Contour HD are extremely recent, and they are the best. I mean, these guys got mud boats and everything. They're running way back in the creeks, and they're using competitors' mapping, too, to see the places they didn't get. So that's really what gives the advantage there on the Precision Contour HD chips. The other thing we just put into these HDS units is the Contour Plus mapping. So Contour Plus is going to be built into all the HDS units moving forward. If you bought an HDS unit between April and now, you've got the ability to get a chip for free. And then before that, you can buy them for $35 a piece, and that's a phenomenal map, and it covers the whole country.
$35?
Yeah, if you've bought a HDS, because again, it's going to be built in, you know,
Gotcha.
like around August moving forward.
Yeah, that's a good deal there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
John Williams, and I saw this is one of the things that you were talking about earlier on one of the videos we did before the show tonight. John Williams said, do you recommend using the fish reveal on an elite TI unit on ledges or just the regular down scan?
So I think that depends more on the level of confidence you have in the unit, right? So fish reveal is a phenomenal feature, and it makes fish pop in all different kinds of scenarios. It'll show them well in grass. It'll show them well around brush piles, everything else. But when you get dialed into the point to where you can tell the size of the fish with down scan without fish reveal, that's probably when you don't use it. But I would say majority of people out of the box, that fish reveal is pretty cool. It's awesome. It's a great feature.
Stephen Bono wanted to know how he gets the job of running these lakes and mapping them for the chips.
It's a C-MAP survey crew.
Okay.
We probably, I don't know, we're putting a lot of money into that, so there might be a job open, Stephen. I don't know.
Well, where can they find a listing maybe if
Navico?
If there is any?
It'd be Navico Jobs or something like that. If you
Navico
Google
Jobs.
Navico, I'm not even sure on the website, but
Got you.
put me down as a referral. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know you, but
It's like not sure who I'm talking to, or if it's really even Steven, but put me down as a referral. Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe I changed. I don't know.
All right. So Lee Gay he's got a question for you, Mike. He said he has a HDS 9 Live. He wants to know how he can get a C-MAP card for my unit. He got it last April. Where are you located, first, Lee?
HDS 9 Live.
Oh, he's in Raleigh.
Okay. Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah. So
Okay.
So Lee, so if you go on and you actually you just have to have your bill of sale or serial number, and you go to the Lowrance website. They don't really ask for too many questions. It's not gonna, they're not gonna get too far into your family history or anything like that. It's like the serial number and your name, I'm pretty sure, and you just put it in on the website, and they'll get you one. So it'll be in offers, like current offers on the Lowrance website.
Chuck Burrell has an HDS 8 Gen 2, wants to know if most of the stuff that we've mentioned tonight will work on his HDS Gen 2.
HDS. For the most part. Fish reveal isn't a feature on a Gen 2.
Yeah, they don't have fish reveal, but it's C-MAP compatible.
So no.
Gen 3.
For the Precision Contour HD, it's so much information that it's like Gen 3 forward, right?
Okay, so Gen 3 forward.
Yeah, and you can put it in one of those units and it'll work, but it's going to be so laggy because it's just an incredible amount of information.
Gotcha.
So, again, it'll work, but it's going to be very laggy. So Gen 3
meaning
forward is what I
meaning
recommend.
slow.
Right.
It's just going to slow everything down.
Yeah, it's just really a lot of information.
Gotcha. All right, so we got time for one or two more questions, then we're going to jump into our trivia question. Mike, we got several questions down there. I'm going to let you pick the next question. Travis Colbert said, "I hear the surveyors are ex-Black Ops agents. Is that true?"
Guaranteed.
I can't confirm nor deny that statement.
Oh me. All right, so You find a question or two?
I don't know. They're all.
I'm killing you here. I'm putting you on the spot.
What's
Jeremy,
your next tournament? Why don't I ask you a question?
Jeremy Combs, this is the Lowrance show tonight, man. We got plenty of time to talk about my stuff. He said he's been to the offices in Tulsa several times. Great place and fun people.
He's been sending me messages all show long.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Jeremy Combs?
That's funny.
Well, I'm glad Jeremy's been. I haven't even been, and I'm ashamed to say that I haven't been to Lowrance headquarters in Tulsa before.
It's an awesome place.
Yeah, I need to go out there. I need to get out there.
Yeah, it's fun. Adam Savage. That's a good question. Is Lowrance going to come out with a power pole now like Minn Kota since power pole's patent has expired? What I will say is no, we're not working on power poles. And even if we were, I could not talk about it anyways. But we work extremely close with power pole, right? So, I mean, realistically, one of our marketing messages, we're pushing the ultimate fishing system right now, right? So, I mean, you've got full control of your power poles from your HDS unit at the bow, from your HDS unit at the console. You can use the foot pedals, or excuse me, the push buttons. You know what I'm talking about? The round buttons from power pole that you put on the deck. You can use your Ghost trolling motor to control your power poles. Okay, so you've got your HDS units, your Ghost trolling motor. You can use their remote. You can use the remote at the console. So you've got all different ways that you can control your power poles. You can even control the speed, and you can put up one or both down with your Lowrance units. So we've got an extremely strong relationship. And then the power pole charge, which is a brand new product,
yeah, that's a cool deal,
is phenomenal. You can it's a battery management tool, right? So it'll shift power wherever you need it. So it goes from your trolling motor batteries, it'll shift power from trolling motor batteries to cranking batteries as you need it. It operates all as one system. So let's say you've been on your trolling motor all day long, and you haven't cranked that big motor, and you're worried that big motor is not going to start. It's going to shift that power, and you're good to go. Same thing goes for if you're looking for bedfish all day. It shifts that power to your trolling motor batteries, and you can see all this on a sidebar in your Lowrance units. So
you can program it to your phone too,
and your phone,
which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll take one or two more questions. Actually, we got to get to our trivia question. We'll take one more question. I'm just going to the next question after Adam's question that you addressed. It's from Wyatt Clark. Wyatt wants to know, and you might can jump over there on the demo for this, does the HDS 12 record a continuous track without hitting save track at the end of each trip?
Yes. The answer is yes.
There
might be a certain point that it reaches that its end point or something like that. I'm not sure how many certain dots it has to make, but no, I would say yes. It will keep recording, but I do recommend making new trails every day. So, you might start with a yellow trail for day one, blue trail for day two, or whatever. Let's say you're fishing the same spots. You don't know if you've actually fished this bank today or was that yesterday, depending on how many places you're fishing in a day, right? So I do like to use different trails and save them as you go.
All right, so that
seems like I might have seen that on a video earlier today.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What's that? Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, somebody asked about that. Yeah, so that was part of one of the videos we shot before the show tonight. That will be on our LTF Academy when it launches. Also, I'll be doing a color shading video. I had a couple guys ask about how to do that. Can you do a video on that? Unfortunately for our hour-long show every week, we don't have time to go over everything in full detail. But that's going to be the benefit of the LTF Academy when it launches. We're going to have full detailed videos on all kinds of topics, all kinds of categories, anything you can think of. And we've used y'all's feedback in order to create this stuff. So keep that in mind. Some of the questions we get asked over and over and over again, some of the most popular questions that we can't answer in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. We've been out on the water shooting videos. We've been in the studio shooting videos. We've been in my shop shooting videos and thrift shop shooting videos. We had Mike in here tonight shooting videos with Lowrance stuff. We got a lot of really awesome content built up for y'all's access, and that'll hopefully launch. I know we've said this for the past 6-8 months, but we're getting there. We're making progress.
We got a lot of people involved.
We got a lot of people involved.
A lot of scheduling.
Yeah, it's a lot of scheduling, a lot of videos.
Not just y'all on the videos.
But I promise it'll be well worth the wait. I can guarantee you that. All right, so guys, unfortunately we ran out of time for tonight. Thanks for everybody tuning in. We do have a trivia question for a Lowrance swag package, compliments of Mike and Lowrance, and valued at over $100. It'll be a combination of shirts, hats, all kinds of goodies. So the question And I did hint earlier that it does pertain to Lowrance. It's going to take y'all a little while to figure this one out. You can't Google the answer like sometimes you can. But I have run Lowrance for quite a few years now. And what I need to know, the question is the very first Lowrance unit that I ran in tournament competition, I need the model number and letter of it. I need the model number and letter of it, like, HDS Live 12, whatever. So I need the model number and letter of the very first Lowrance unit. That's the answer, Jeff, in case you're wondering. Okay. So either one of those, actually, this has got to be included in it. So the very first Lowrance unit that I ran in tournament competition, and I'll give you another hint here in a minute if nobody gets it. Billy Wooten said X75, so that's a good start.
Carson says 1957.
Yeah, that was no.
You're answering questions that aren't asked. But
Yeah,
I like to get answers.
Oh yeah, Carson said Daryl. Actually, initially we were thinking about. See, now I'm getting X98, 420C, LCX7. That's exactly the kind of answers we're looking for. And I will give a hint. If y'all don't get it in the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'll drop another hint. And I do want the number and the letter, guys. So I want the number and the letter. Don't just throw out a bunch of random numbers and start counting like sometimes. When we'll say how many fish did Thrift catch on day 1 at Chickamauga, they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I see a couple close. I see one really, really close one.
Yeah,
but in the meantime, I do want to thank you, Mike, for being on the show because you.
Thanks for having me.
Man, you answered more questions than we've ever answered in one show. I think, at least in more detail, and you sounded more useful answers, and you sounded a heck of a lot more educated than we do when we answer. Bo Adams, I ain't that old.
Thanks
dude.
for having me.
Bo Adams said a paper graph. Use no paper graph. Mike Harris, LMS 330, X70. Boy, I see some close answers. I mean, I see some super close answers. But if you do win, you're just gonna send us a message with your email address, and we'll get to that when we do get a winner. But y'all keep watching the feed. You watching the feed? You know the answer. That's the answer right there.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So y'all keep watching that, and I'm gonna back up. And I'm going to grab us a question while we're waiting for a correct answer. The hint I'm going to drop here in just a second is that I'm going to give you roughly a time frame when this unit came out. And I may be wrong, but it doesn't matter. This is our show, and we do what we want. But no, right, Jeff?
Yep.
No, in all seriousness, this unit, I'll go ahead and give the hint. This unit, I believe, don't hold me to this, but it came out in the early 2000s. Early 2000s. Do you think that's right, Mike?
That sounds accurate.
That sounds... Mike,
I mean, seriously, like, at that point, we call it a legacy unit.
A legacy.
It's old.
Oh, yeah. Where's our black pen?
But a good unit, for sure. And there's a lot of guys still running them.
A good unit. Yeah, it was a very good unit.
Awesome unit.
Grab that black pen right there, Mike. You got to sign the wall before we forget. So we've had several guests that we forgot to get to sign the wall, and you've got to sign the wall. This wall... that black pen, not the bottle opener. Yeah, the actual marker. But it came out. I'm getting a lot of answers. It came out anywhere you want to.
Sign over Hank's signature.
No, don't sign over Hank's signature. But we got Hank Cherry and Todd Alton, and Thrift hadn't even signed the wall yet, which is the funny part about it. But all right, we still don't have a correct answer, but I believe this unit came out in the early 2000s, like around, I'm going to say 2002 to 2004, roughly. I'll give you another hint. The first 3 letters on the unit was LMS. Does that help them at all?
Oh,
that
yeah.
cuts it down
for
quite
sure.
a
That
bit.
cuts it down to like 4 or 5 models. 3
Okay,
models.
so, I don't know. I'm seeing LMS 240. So the first 3 letters are LMS, and then it's a dash, and then a number, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on like what your average age group is here. Because, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to guess.
Oh, I think.
You have to have that.
All right, well, yeah.
But that was the first unit.
Wow.
Okay.
That was one of the first units I used.
Yeah, no, they don't have to have that.
Okay.
So you got an answer?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a winner?
Do we?
Who's the winner?
Chad Campbell, LMS 332 is the first one I saw.
It was a LMS 332, guys. And gals. That's the first one that came through on Jeff's feed. Jeff is always in charge, so that's the first one that came through on Jeff's feed. So Chad Campbell, you said Chad Campbell, congrats. So you need to send us a message on Facebook with your email address, and Mike is going to reach out to you, get your information, and get you hooked up with some of that Lowrance swag package. So send us a message with your email address. We need your email address this time, a little different than we normally do things, but send us your email address on our message on our Facebook page. Just PM us and we'll get you hooked up. So guys, that was the answer. It was a LMS 332. I just saw another one come through on the feed from
Everybody
Aaron
has the right answer now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
but we have there's a little bit of a delay, but
every time.
It is funny that I say the answer and then like 47 more correct answers come through. So, but yeah, that was it. And like Mike said, that was a good unit, reliable unit. It did everything I needed it to do at the time, and was probably one of the top of the line units at the time, wasn't it? I mean, that was. I think they might have had that. What was the biggest unit? Do you know? Mike was born in like 2000, so no, not quite, like 92 or something.
Yeah.
But what was the largest? When did the first 8 or 9 inch screen come out?
I don't know. I guess it was probably like a HDS 8, right?
I think so.
I think a HDS 8 Gen 1
Which was
the
like
first one. Probably like 2008
I
time
was going to
frame.
say late 2000, 2008-ish.
2008, 2010. I don't know.
Okay.
It was late 2000, somewhere in there.
Yep.
2010.
All right, so so that 5 inch that I had was pretty awesome in its time, huh?
Yeah, well, I remember a 7 inch unit used to be huge. You remember a 5 used to be big.
That's right. Isn't that crazy? We sit here and think about how big a 7 inch unit was,
right?
When that was the biggest unit out there, and now we've got 16s.
Yep. And we got guys running, like I know Raymond Jones, my buddy in Raleigh. He's running 2 16s at the console and a 16 at front.
Guess he's a tall fella and he can see over it okay.
I can't see over it.
What kind of boat?
On a Ranger.
On a Ranger. Yeah, well, Rangers.
He might have taken him off to go to 12s, but I know he did at one point.
They sit up a little higher, but those 16s are tall.
That's a lot of unit. I mean, but I mean, I'm not against it, you know.
Look at Jerry Hepner. I like that, Jerry. Fish Low K Tour. That's awesome. So that was Lowrance's first. What'd they call it then? Sonar unit.
Mm-hmm.
First sonar unit was called the LO-K-TOR.
Darryl Lowrance's first unit.
Yep, the Fish Low
like
K
60
Tour.
years ago.
All right, so you Aaron, you were right too. You had C on the end of yours, but we couldn't short Chad when he said 332. So that is Chad is the official winner. He's already sent. I just saw his message pop up on the top of my phone, so he's already sent that in. So guys, Mike, thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
It was an awesome show. Mike dropped a lot of knowledge, was able to help a few of you guys and gals out, which we appreciate. I know Lowrance appreciates. And guys, keep an eye out for what Lowrance is doing in our industry, because there's a lot of cool things coming down the pipe that Mike won't tell me about, but I know they're coming.
But even right now, we have great promotions. Go to the website and look at the offers page. There's all kinds of deals.
Yeah, do you know any of those going on right now? Any special promotions?
We have Catch a Great Deal. Save a couple $100 on several different types of units. But seriously, on the Lowrance website, the offers page, there's always some special offers going on.
So Lowrance's website, just go to the offers page, the offers icon, and check out all the promotions that they got going on right now if you're looking for a new unit.
Absolutely.
Get yourself fixed up. Thanks again, Mike and Jeff. Thank you, buddy, for doing all that you do. I didn't want to leave you out.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
It's a great
I'll buy dinner tonight.
Go buy dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Sweet. But Thrift's not here. He's going to tell you you owe him dinner.
That's
when he gets
okay.
back. Okay. All right. And good luck to you, Smoke. I know Smoke's probably not watching. He's probably tying up 27 or 28 more rods to get ready for tomorrow. But everybody's wishing you luck, Brian.
Yeah.
We'll be watching tomorrow, man. We hope you drop about 18, 19, 20 pounds on the scales, and I know you will.
I'm honored to take your seat tonight.
Yeah. Mike has he's a credible source to take over Thrift seat tonight. I think Mike did a heck of a job. But thanks again, Mike. And guys, we can't go fishing. Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up for a second.
What?
When's our next show?
Got no clue.
Me either.
You're the one that's got to go fishing for a living. I just sit in here and do nothing.
I think Thrift will be back in town. So our goal is to be back in studio next Tuesday. if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be like out of.
It's going to be like 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be a while because I'm taking the family to the beach over the 4th, and then after that I'll leave for New York for about 27, 28 days. Granted that we still get to go up there and fish. Fingers crossed. All right, guys, thanks again for joining. When we can't go fishing, we'll sit right here and talk fish. We hope to see y'all next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Fish. Visit our private Facebook group to continue the conversation, post your questions, and talk with other fellow anglers at facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Fish. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Fish Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Join us again next episode for more actionable tips, tactics, and techniques directly from the pros. And remember, when we can't go fishing, we're going to sit right here and talk fish.